Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Chocolate Travels. I'm here with Antonio of Choco Forest in Japan. So, hello, Antonio. Nice to meet
Hello.
you. Let's start off by asking, where did you come up with the name Choco Forest? Why Choco Forest?
So I came up back in when I was in Croatia. I wanted to open a company actually there at first.
Mm.
So because I live near a forest and we own a lot of forests, so then my idea was to open a shop there and to
Mm.
have like a walkable path trail all over the forest,
Ah,
and you can eat and experience chocolate that way, like more
interesting.
outside.
Right. I like
So
that
this was
idea.
my initial idea, yeah. So this is one part of the name. The second part was because the forest for me is like brings out food, spices, animals, everything.
Mm.
So it's like a not beginning of life, but let's say so like a root of a tree.
Right.
And yeah, everything comes through root and the tree flourishes.
Mm.
So this is the second part of the name. That's why forest, the forest of
I like that
yeah.
idea of the pathway going through the forest and trying different foods. I like that. That's very
Yeah,
interesting.
this I still cling on. I
Yeah.
wanna do this in Japan too in the future.
Yeah, I
So
like I like paddleboarding, and I dream about having a paddleboarding tasting experience. I think that would be really fun. So you are from Croatia and you were going to start a shop in Croatia. So why have you ended up in Japan and started a company there instead?
yeah, this was the time of the virus, you know.
Ah, okay.
So and then my wife got pregnant,
Mm,
and I was currently still in Croatia, so she wanted to move to Croatia, but then she got pregnant, and then she decided she wanted to have a baby here in Japan because more familiar for her, of course, because she's
hmm
Japanese.
hmm
So then I moved here for we said first for a few months, but then I was thinking like here's very many people, but a lot more than Croatia, and we can open here.
Okay.
And then we just changed. I just changed and I decided to open here. It was like a little bit push, but yeah.
Right. Wow. That's a lot of change at one time where you have
Yeah, I
different
know.
country, a baby, a new company.
Yeah.
But that's wonderful. And so can you tell us then, how did you end up with that passion for making chocolate? What led you to becoming a chocolate maker?
Yeah, this was like a lot many years ago, like maybe 10 years ago
Mm,
when I visited Zotter, you know, Zotter in Austria.
right.
Yeah, and I mean, I always loved chocolate, of course, but that trip was very nice for me.
Mm,
And their experience there is like completely different level. And it's also my introduction to bean to bar because this
mm,
one back then was not so familiar
right.
in like Europe. It's mostly small niche. Nobody knew about it.
Hmm.
And that was the introduction to bean to bar that people are making from beans. I mean, I knew they make from beans because from Croatia we have big companies. Of course, they make from beans, but
Right.
a different type, like
Different
selected
style.
countries. Yeah.
Mm. Did
So
you
this
go
was
there to visit Zotter, or you just went to Austria and happened to come
so
across it?
I worked in Austria for 7 years,
Ah, okay.
actually. Yeah,
Mm,
but many people go to trips. There's organized trips from Croatia to Austria because it's like 1.5 hour away from
right.
where I live. So it's
Hmm.
like it's a trip with car, very
Mm,
easy.
mm,
So that's why I went there first time. But then I
mm.
went 3 times after it, and yeah.
Okay. And so after that experience at Zotter, you thought maybe you might want to do that one day?
Yeah, yeah, I was planning because I didn't see anything like this in Croatia. Then I learned there is one company that makes bean to bar chocolate in Croatia,
Mm,
Nodalina, down at the sea. So I live more north
mm,
side,
mm,
actually completely north, but at the sea down on the south, there is one company.
mm,
So
mm,
whole Croatia had one bean to bar company at
mm,
that time. And now I
mm.
don't know if it changed now, but so I was thinking to open a second one.
Did you have a background in culinary and food at that point, or was it something
And
else you were doing?
no, I was making aeroplane parts for Airbus and Boeing,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay.
and I had experience with machines only, no
Okay.
no food, no people.
No, but how about at home? Did you like cooking at home?
Ah,
Doing
this, yes, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. This, yeah.
Was chocolate a big part of your life in Croatia? Growing up in Croatia, was it something that was very exciting for you as a kid? What sort of chocolate do you remember eating growing up?
Yeah, so in Croatia we have two extremely large companies. So Crush and Zvečevo, and these companies make crazy array of chocolates. Actually,
Mm.
it's surprising how many different types they make. And yeah,
Sort
I
of
grew
like
up.
a Ritter Sport idea where they have all the different flavors.
Yes,
Like
yes,
that.
yes. This
Okay.
type, for example, the rice chocolate, the buff rice chocolate, it's
Mm.
first made in Croatia.
Oh, really?
The,
Oh,
the
okay.
first one, yeah, from Mikado, from Zvečevo. This is the first, I mean, so they say, okay, I can't like, but so they say. Back in the, I don't know, 70s or
Mm.
60s,
Mm.
something like that. So I grew up eating this type. So I loved the puff rice, for example.
Mm.
There's also always this, we had like with small animal stickers. So you get an animal sticker inside, and it's a small chocolate that you get.
Oh, okay.
And you're collecting these animals, like
Mm.
this
Hmm.
type of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
chocolate was a big part, but usually only milk and extremely sweet chocolates.
Mm. Mm.
So like concept of 70%,
No.
80%,
In
there's
Croatia, they don't really go for the dark chocolate.
they have, you can buy it of course,
Right, right.
but it's not popular.
Okay,
People
okay.
don't eat it.
Do friends and family now in Croatia, have they been able to try some of your products that you made? Do you ever visit and bring it or ship it over to them? And what do they think?
Yeah, yeah, I did bring, I visit almost every year. So this is the first year I did. We didn't go, but yeah, almost every time, and it's different
Yeah.
because, like I said, everybody's used to very sweet
Right,
things,
right, right,
and those sweet things, uh, you can't let go.
right.
So when I bring 70% chocolate, also that tastes completely different, like more fruity side, and not like plain old chocolate. It's, yeah, they are not loving it, but I also have a wide array of white chocolates,
Mm.
which they do love.
Have you been
So
able to have some of your friends or family come around to the 70% to actually start to enjoy it, or not quite there
uh,
yet?
yeah,
Yeah.
my mother loves more not sweet.
Okay.
So this is like exception, but usually like younger people eat sweets.
Mm, mm. When it comes to tea and coffee, is coffee very big in Croatia?
Well, coffee is extremely big. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
coffee.
how is it
So it,
taken usually?
so black, usually
Mm,
espresso or black, but
okay.
because, for example, coffee is this big in Croatia that Starbucks doesn't even come.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you can't compete.
Right,
It's
right,
very cheap coffee. I mean, it's not like some premium. I mean, you have it, of course, but it's not predominant like premium coffees. But like every bar has coffee.
right,
Like
right.
and there's like everywhere bars.
I think there's a
So
lot of influence from Italy too, right? With their coffee culture, espresso that
yes,
comes into
yes,
Croatia.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the coffee culture is like before work, people stop at the coffee bars and they just sit down, no
Mm.
coffee to go.
Mm.
This one is like a new concept they're trying to introduce, but people are not catching on. Like that you take and you bring the coffee. Usually
Right.
you just have to sit down and drink the coffee in peace, and then you go away.
So that's interesting then, because there is an appeal to the palate for intense flavors. You know, espresso can be very intense, very bitter. It just hasn't crossed over to the idea of chocolate yet. So
Yeah,
there's a
this one I
possibility
think
there.
is it's I think it's a bit because of the big chocolate brands.
Right.
They
Yeah.
push a lot of
Yeah.
sugar because it's much cheaper than
Right.
cocoa beans.
Yeah. Oh. When did you, because you like obviously the sweet, the Rice Crisp chocolate, when did you start to appreciate the 70% and the single origins? When did that happen?
Yeah, I think that was when Zotter introduced these different
So it was Zotter.
flavors.
Okay.
Yeah, it was this like, oh look, it doesn't have to taste like normal chocolate, like
Mm,
plain
mm,
cacao flavor.
mm,
It can like, oh look, this one is like fruity, it's like sour. This one is like tastes like wood, like completely different. So this was interesting for me.
mm.
But also I think for me what was really is I love to travel, so I visit a lot of different countries and I like different spices and these kind of things, so I think
Yeah,
this one also.
that's a very good point, because I find sometimes people who love chocolate, regular chocolate, industrial chocolate, people who love it don't really like bean to bar because they like the familiarity and the simplicity. But people like you, maybe me as well, who we like to explore, we like to travel, we like to try new things. Bean to
Yeah,
bar chocolate really resonates with us because it's so interesting, it's so different.
yeah, I think it's part of this. Yeah,
Yeah.
one part is this, I'm sure.
Do you find differences now between perception of chocolate with people you know in Croatia and the people you know in Japan, maybe your wife's family as well? Is there a different view on what chocolate is appreciated or food in general? Any differences, similarities?
Yeah, of course, this is one of the differences that it's usually everywhere. Food.
Yeah,
Every country is completely different. But Japan again then starts, they don't like sweet. It's completely
right,
different.
right,
Croatia is sweet, 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 and here is not so sweet,
right.
subtle sweet, and they don't want it to like bite your throat.
Mm.
Like for example, if you ever eaten some big company white chocolate, like you eat it and because it kills
So
you,
sweet.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't like this here.
Okay.
So all their chocolates that you like from big brands like Meiji, they're less sweet,
So
like than
they
normal.
in Japan, they're okay with the 70% that you produce and those sorts. That's
Yeah, they actually prefer lower sweetness. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. What was the most challenging aspect then when you started making chocolate? What were the biggest challenges? Was it sourcing cacao? Was it learning how to temper? Was something else? What do you think?
At first, when I started to learn in Croatia, still,
Mm.
because we in Croatia usually don't have air cons,
Ah, okay.
so tempering was, every like temperature matters this much that it's very hard,
Mm, mm,
and tempering was the worst. I need to
mm,
say that
mm,
was completely the worst. Now there's zero problem, but before was
mm.
crazy. So this one, I think everybody has at the
Peppering
beginning.
is a
If
tough one. Yeah.
if you're not a chocolatier like from the school, you
Right.
you will have problem tempering. This one is the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know, roasting. This I started to do by nose, like the smell
Right.
usually. And this one, I think it's okay, but tempering, I'm sure.
Okay. And when it came to, sourcing the beans, learning how to roast and choosing how long to refine, was that sort of just trial and error, you playing around with it for a while until you figured out what you liked?
Yeah. This usually I tried every time try, but like when I melange the chocolate, I have a micrometer, so I test. You of course you can't like know exactly
Right.
because it's a small melanger, so but yeah, I do it like that or by tongue. The feel like
Mm,
it's
mm,
more personal, like
mm.
you're more connected. It's I know when you like scale up, you need different methods, right?
Right,
You need
right,
like more science
right,
and real measures. But for now, this I
right,
use it
right.
myself.
Yeah, yeah. No, a lot of great chefs prefer the more hands-on tasting, smelling, touching, as opposed to sticking a probe and taking measurements that way. It's something
Yeah,
more
yeah.
satisfying and
It's also more craft
yeah, exactly.
because then it's not if I have a let's say I have a measurement instrument for measurement of how fine the chocolate is, like professional,
Hmm.
and I put the chocolate inside, and let's say a big company, let's say I don't know Hershey's, they also put the chocolate inside, and we get the same number. It's I mean the taste is maybe different, but the texture is completely the same.
Hmm.
So there's no special touch,
Right. Special
right?
touch. Yeah. Your own
Yeah,
fingerprints,
there's
so to speak.
no
Yeah.
every chocolate should be like when we talk about craft, every chocolate should be special,
Right. Right.
like different. That's the point, I think, craft, right?
Hmm.
I mean, it's your craft, my craft. Our craft should not be the same. Okay. Your craft should be different, a little bit than mine. Every
Yeah.
craft should be special.
Yeah, exactly. Just
So
like how chocolate makers use, the same beans from the same co-op, for instance, but each bar always tastes so different because they have their
yeah,
own
yeah.
little
Roast,
changes. Well,
time,
yeah,
sugar maybe a little bit different.
yeah,
Like
so
maybe
many
you
things.
use raw cane sugar. You
Right,
don't use raw or
right.
whatever.
What would you say now that you're sort of doing this quite a few years now? What would you say is the greatest challenge running a chocolate business? So from the business perspective, what is the greatest challenge?
Yeah, maybe making money.
So
Just
selling,
when we
selling,
are talking about just the bars,
right,
I think we are talking about this more than other things, but
right, right.
like
Because you
just
make
the
other
bars.
products as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just the bars, which I would love to do.
Mm,
Just sell chocolate bars, make chocolate bars and sell.
mm,
That is the problem, especially in Japan, summertime.
mm.
There
Yeah,
is
it's very hot
chocolate
there.
is dead.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
very rarely people buy chocolate
Mm.
summertime.
So tell me then, what are some of because I looked at your website and you have a nice variety of products as well, baked goods and things like that. So is that why you delved into that to sort of diversify your product line? And how is that going for you?
Exactly, exactly. This is Japan is very season driven.
Mm,
So when it's winter, it's chocolate time. When it's summer, it's ice cream time. So that's why
mm,
we have ice cream too,
mm,
which we don't sell online, of course, but we
right.
have in our shop.
Yeah.
So baked goods are all year around, okay? So this is one reason why we have them. Also, we do marché, like small pop-up shops
Mm,
in like parks and these kind of things.
hmm, hmm.
And baked goods are perfect
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
They're cheaper, which is good for people,
Yeah. They
and
hold up
we
to the
can,
elements.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm still satisfied that we sell a lot more chocolate bars. So like 70% of our money is
Mm,
like still chocolate bars. So
right.
we're
Okay.
still been
Wow.
to bar, not the cake shop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you feel like most of your customers appreciate the work you do, or do you feel like you always have to educate them what this is, what's so special about it?
Yeah, at first we had some trouble, like why does this chocolate cost this much? But now it's catching on, and I think people appreciate.
Hmm,
Actually, Japan is pretty famous for crafts,
right.
all types, like whatever it is, sake, soy sauce, chopsticks,
Hmm,
wood,
hmm.
knives. Everything is like with hand made, with hand craft. So they do understand the concept. Like, oh, he's making alone here from the beginning, from almost the beginning, and they understand this. They just need a little bit education about what is cacao butter, which we tell them how to make white chocolate, for example, what is cacao fruit or cacao pulp, and so on, how cacao mama looks, how cacao beans looks, and
So
these
it
kind of
sounds like
things.
they have the mindset already of appreciating craft and high quality
Yes,
foods. So
exactly.
it's not maybe as difficult as it would be maybe in Croatia or somewhere else where
Yes,
the mindset is different.
100% sure. Yeah, 100% sure.
So I guess it's a good thing that you ended up in Japan then to start your company.
Yeah, yeah, good, good.
What aspect of the bean to bar do you feel your customers underappreciate or people in general? What do you think they don't appreciate and you wish that they would?
I think I would say that the personal touch. Most people, when they buy a chocolate, they compare it to a different chocolate,
Mm,
usually.
mm,
Like, what is, and then they don't maybe appreciate this personal touch that you give the chocolate and how much time it takes actually to make a bar.
that's a
I
good
mean, I know
point.
you make a lot of bars at once, but even if you make one bar, like 100 grams, you still need these hours that you
Yeah.
need for 100, right?
I think a lot of people don't appreciate how long it takes to make chocolate.
Yeah,
They think
this is also
it's like
one.
making bread or cookies. You could do it, in an afternoon and
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
that's a good
When I
point.
tell them that I run like the messenger like 1.5 days,
Hmm,
then
hmm.
oh, this long. Yeah, this long. It could be even longer,
Right.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I have like a limit.
Do you find your flavor preferences, ideas, are not always receptive to the palates of your customers in Japan? So like, because you're from Croatia, so you grew up with different foods. Do you come up with flavors and then your customers are like, not really crazy about that? Or do you choose flavors that people in Japan prefer? How does that work?
So for now, I push only pure flavors. Let's
Mm,
say when I have a pistachio bar, I have pistachio bar. It's a
mm,
pistachio bar,
mm.
not pistachio raisin or whatever.
Okay.
So usually
Simple,
for now,
simplicity, keep it simple. One.
because so there's like two mindsets here. One is simple and to taste the flavor of what I want.
Mm,
So if it's strawberry, I want the strawberry. I don't want strawberry with cinnamon.
mm, mm,
So this, but also it's more simple. But now I'm pushing the other side, which I will start from this year, also mix flavors.
mm,
So this is more like pure side, like bean to bar side, let's say.
mhm,
Bean to
mhm.
bar, even if it's a white chocolate, but like more simple. But I will also try now mix flavors.
Okay.
So I will see how it goes.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, yeah, there are, I mean, combinations are unlimited, so it gets a little bit crazy out there.
Tell us about some of the cacao beans you choose and why you choose them. So what origins, why do you prefer these ones?
Yeah, so I have two Colombia bars from two different regions.
Mm,
I have Ecuador, I have Belize, and I have not yet, but I already have the beans, but from Venezuela.
Okay.
And I choose each of them on a criteria that is, let's say, different maybe than somebody. So for
Mm.
me, it's about the differences, and I just want, the wheel, the chocolate flavor wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to fulfill the wheel.
Mm. Mm.
So I want so that people can try all the different groups of flavors. So
Right.
nutty,
Right. Earthy, fruity.
fruity,
Right.
yes, earthy, and so on. So not
Mm.
the specific things inside because it would be
Right.
crazy. So only the big groups.
Yeah.
And this is exactly how I buy the
Okay.
beans. So
Mm-hmm.
Colombia, we have two because I want to show the difference between, even if it's the same country,
That's a
it's a
really good
different
point. Yeah.
it's a different part of mountain. So the beans are from different part of mountain. It's a
Mm.
big mountain, it's
Mm-hmm.
Sierra Nevada, and the beans are not so far away,
Mm.
but a completely different flavor.
Right.
So more fruity side. And for Belize is more fruity side and astringent side, which
Mm.
most people don't like, think it's bad, but I don't think it's bad. So
Okay.
astringency, it's a part of flavor. It's
Mm.
different. It tingles your senses a little bit,
Mm.
so
Mm.
I like it. Then I have some completely zero astringency chocolate like Ecuador, which
Mm.
is Ariba. They claim 100%. I don't know if it's 100%, but like they claim. And it's more like floral side.
Right.
And then earthy side is, which I will introduce now, Venezuela, like more
Mm.
earthy,
Mm.
smoky side.
Yeah. So choosing based on just different, giving your customers such drastic different experiences with each bar. I think that's very helpful too, especially if you're doing tastings and samples. If
We
everything's
do,
very
yeah.
fruity or very similar, it's not as interesting than if they were very different.
Yeah. We also give, we have like a macambo bar and this type of things, but this is like very rare that people want because they
Right.
don't know what it is. Then I
Yeah.
explain, like it's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a process.
Yeah, even for me to sell those kind of bars, it's difficult to get across because people have no conception of what it is, so it doesn't come across very interesting. So you're talking about one of the challenges is growing your business, making more money. So what do you think chocolate makers and people in the industry should do in order to help grow this world of bean to bar craft chocolate? What do you think is one of the crucial points?
I think it's getting bigger.
Mm. You mean,
I know it sounds like counterproductive, like, right? Like craft and getting big, it doesn't like
oh, I
mix,
see.
but it does mix. You can get bigger, and because people,
You mean get bigger as an industry or get bigger as a business?
yeah, I mean, you grow businesses, you grow the industry, right? If the
Mm,
businesses are growing,
mm,
then the whole industry is growing. So like if you get to a point of Zotter, let's say Zotter, we take them, they are, it is already a big company. In Austria, actually, I think it's the biggest company, chocolate company, but it's still craft.
mm,
It's still bean to bar and craft chocolate that they focus on quality, even though they're big.
mm.
So you can do it. I'm sure it's harder. I'm sure it's harder, but you
And
can do. And
what can businesses do to encourage growth? What do you think? Is it just putting yourself out there more? Is it education? Is it better marketing? What
I'm sure it's marketing and education
mm,
mostly.
mhm,
I think it's this, but branding branding is very important. I
mm.
mean, usually I've noticed that my packages sell more chocolates than the chocolate itself,
Oh, okay.
because when I sell outside, and for example, we don't give this much tasting, people, what catches the eye is the package, not,
Right.
I mean, it's a chocolate, right? It's dark color, brown, that's it. right? You don't really feel the taste.
Mm,
So it's, oh look, I like this animation or picture or
mm,
whatever. I mean
mm.
animation picture. I like it. I will take it.
Right.
So it's branding. It's pushing the brand, pushing the logo, pushing, yeah, marketing.
Mm.
You're actually it's everything part of marketing.
Can you tell us some of your current line of chocolate bars? What do you have right now? You mentioned about the origins. What sort of flavored bars do you have?
Flavored, I have cacao fruits, white
Okay.
chocolate cacao fruits,
Mm,
strawberry, white chocolate, pistachio, white chocolate, hazelnuts and almond, hazelnuts and almond together, white chocolate. So these are the chocolates that I have
So the
for
flavored
now.
bars you have are white. You don't have any milk or dark flavored bars.
Yeah,
Okay. Why is
exactly.
that?
Because I want to focus on the, if I mix it with cacao, usually the cacao is so strong it kicks the ass out of everything.
Mm, okay.
It's that's why I said this is more pure side, which I will change now
Mm, mm,
because I will expand. Like I said, I tried this and it's going very well. So I try to
mm-hmm.
expand. If it doesn't work, I just
Yeah.
go back.
Yeah. A lot of newer pita bar makers, they love that purity aspect, the single origin, sticking to that, pushing that. So I
Yeah,
understand. I
yeah.
understand where that comes from.
People like, yeah.
And so what would you say now at this point? What is inspiring you? Because I'm sure it's a lot of hard work. Your mind is always going and never stops. So what's motivating you to keep going? Is it just the joy of making it? Is it something else? What is it that's
Yeah,
pushing you?
I think it will be family number one.
Mm,
And then I just like it. I really do.
mm,
It's nice. Also, it's about owning business,
mm,
like the freedom of it, let's
right.
say.
There's freedom, but
So
there's also
yeah,
insecurity that
yeah.
you don't know, right? So compared to what you were doing in Croatia and Austria, do you prefer this? Or is it pros and
Yeah,
cons to
I do
both?
prefer this.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
pros and cons, of
Right.
course. There's
Right.
like different stress,
Right.
right? When I was
Right.
working, even though I was working like in an industry that's very strict, like making parts for airplane, like you need to
Mm,
all the time measure, all the time check, all the time
mm,
like write down this type of things. Still, the like it's different level of responsibility.
right.
When you
Right.
own your own business, if you make a mistake, yeah, it's
Mm,
bad.
mm, mm. Do you
So
find that because you were very meticulous in the aerospace industry, do you bring that into chocolate too? Are you very meticulous in the kitchen, or are you more carefree?
yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say yes.
Yeah.
I'm more like picky about this kind of
Mm,
stuff.
mm,
So maybe yeah, it has influence on me. Also because I was like more technical through school too. So I went to school the same. So they teach you like this.
right.
So it's maybe in me, I would say.
Okay. Where is your shop? Where can people visit you? Do you offer tours, tastings, workshops, anything like that, or do you plan to do that in the future?
So my shop is in Osaka, Japan, in Neyagawa. We do have sometimes some tours, but usually we don't offer this.
Mm,
The shop is open and you can come, and then if somebody wants, I give them a tour.
okay.
But it's a very small shop and it's open kitchen, so you can see everything inside.
Okay. Very nice.
So there's like, you can see the melanger working
Yeah.
and tempering machine and roaster, everything I do there. So
Wonderful.
almost everything, like
Yeah.
winnowing and this I do upstairs floor,
Mm.
but everything else is down.
And do you have any goals you want to share with us? Any ideas for the future that you have right now?
Yeah, that the goal is to grow,
Yeah.
to open a second shop, which we are thinking
Oh, okay,
about.
okay.
uh, but I wanna like, when I open the second shop, I want it to be more outside of the city.
Mm,
Now we are in the city, like 1 minute from a train station, so
Okay.
it's a busy place, and
Mm-hmm.
this. So I want more outside, more rural, and then see
Mm.
bigger. Of course, it's cheaper, a lot
Right.
cheaper
More
spaces,
space.
especially Japan.
Yeah.
Very cheap rural, and more be a destination where people click and go.
Mm.
Then now it's more, I mean, of course, people come visit,
Right.
but when they walk by, oh, look, we can go.
Right.
It's
Right.
because it's a busy area, so it's like this. But
You want it to be more of a
uh,
destination, maybe they
yeah,
yeah.
this, because like I said, I want this forest. I didn't give up on this. I want
Good. Nice.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to have a factory and a walkable forest, small of course, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
walkable forest, and where you can eat outside chocolate, which will be a little bit challenging, but
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the point.
I like it. Awesome.
So
Well, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much, Antonio. It was really, really nice to meet you, hear your story, and hear about where you're going. I wish you all the best with your business.
thank you very much. I wish you too all the best.
Thank you very much. You take care. I'll talk to you again soon.
Uh,
Take care.
thank you. Bye bye.
Download the free Bean to Bar app to connect with makers from around the world, either where you live or places you'll visit. Also, be sure to visit beantobarworld.com for all things fine chocolate, including professional chocolate tastings, chocolate tutoring, online shop filled with bars, tasting tools, and more, the free learning center filled with research, history, science, videos, podcasts, and much more. Sign up for the newsletter to stay in touch, and feel free to donate to grow the free app and free learning center.